Good afternoon, Southern New England. I'm Tiffany Murphy, joined by ABC6 Sports Director Nick Coit, and we are breaking into regularly scheduled programming at this hour. As you know, this morning it was announced that Bill Belichick and the Patriots are parting ways. Robert Kraft is about to address the media, so we are standing by for that. In the meantime, let's talk about this historic announcement today. The Patriots, right? What a day.
What a day.
The Patriots haven't been on a coaching search for nearly a quarter of a century.
It's true. It's true. And it was, it started, I said it on social media this afternoon. It was interesting if you didn't have a chance to watch the noon press conference. It was a united front. It was Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. And a quarter century ago, Tiffany, they walked in front of the cameras, in front of the media. They shook hands and said, we're going to build this relationship and we're going to build a winner here. And 24 seasons later and 6 Super Bowls later, what did they do near the end of that press conference? They shook hands again. So it started with a handshake, it ended with a handshake, and they said they mutually agreed to part ways amicably, so had a few conversations, and they felt it was the best for both parties.
Really a classy act at this point, because it could have gone different ways as well, right? They could have opened him up. Now he's a free agent to be a coach, right?
He is, and that was one of the interesting takeaways from that press conference is toward the end of it, Robert Kraft saying it'll be tough to see him in that hoodie and that cutoff sweatshirt on the sideline, and it kind of hinted that it would be somewhere else, which would mean that Bill Belichick would be somewhere else possibly next season, and even at his age, even after all the years in football, the indications are that Bill Belichick still wants to coach. He wants to be somewhere, and so there are reports out there, interest from other teams. He's definitely going to be contacted, I'm sure, at some point, so here we go. We'll see with Bill Belichick in his future.
Okay, so we will talk more in just a moment. Let's listen in this live press conference.
I want to thank you all for sticking around, and it's a very emotional day. Family will be dedicated to doing the best we can to bringing a winning team back. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all being here.
And back live right now in our ABC6 News studios in Providence, Rhode Island. Robert Kraft just wrapping up live in Foxborough, speaking to members of the media and fans. And I'm joined by Nick Coit, our ABC6 News sports director. And I got to tell you, Nick, as an NFL outsider, right, the key takeaway for me here is a class act. What a classy organization, how he addressed the media, how the two have had their discussions and been open. And I think it's so interesting that so many people have compared it to a marriage. There are ups and downs, wins and losses, and you grow stronger. But now is the time that they've decided mutually to part ways.
Well, and that's why this decision didn't come lightly, and it didn't come quickly either. I think some people thought, okay, after the last couple months, maybe on Monday, boom, they make the decision, and that's it. But these two sat down. They've had a partnership for, as you mentioned, before the press conference, a quarter century, and they talked about it. They talked about different things that they could do to maybe try to make this work. But that's something that Robert Kraft addressed in this press conference today. He said the last 3 years, they've been pretty tough. He knows what the fans have been saying, what the results have been. He saw the stadium at times this year. It was a 4-13 season. You have a top 3 draft pick for a reason, because it wasn't a great year. But also address the fact that, okay, maybe we bring Bill back just as the coach, but take away some of the personnel power and the decisions there. And Robert Kraft has always been a businessman. He knows that there needs to be accountability there. And when somebody has been making those decisions for 24 seasons, and then all of a sudden you say, no, you're not going to make those decisions anymore, he said it. It wouldn't work. And so they talked about all of those things, and I think that's why they landed where they landed here today, which is agreeing to mutually part ways.
So many interesting things to highlight in the last 25 minutes that Kraft just spoke. You know, the accountability, the checks and balances. I think it was also interesting to me as he talked about the culture of his organization and how important it is to his family, and he knows that the wins and losses directly affect the psyche of the community here.
Well, that's what the Patriot way. We've heard that term over and over again the past quarter century, and that's why they talk about it, because it's something that they established together with Tom Brady. And of course, if we want to talk about Tom Brady, he actually just did put out a statement, if we want to bring that up here on Instagram, on social media. Here's what he had to say. Tom Brady making a statement today on Bill Belichick and the Patriots parting ways. He said, quote, "I'm incredibly grateful to have played for the best coach in the history of the NFL. He was a great leader for the organization, for all the players who played for him. We accomplished some amazing things over a long period of time, many of which will be hard to replicate. Worked every day to help us achieve the ultimate goal in the ultimate team sport. And although we were successful, some of the great lessons I learned were in the moments where we faced the most challenging adversities. He set the tone for the organization to never falter in the face of our adversity and to do what we could and what was in our control, which was to go out and, in capital letters, do our job. I could never have been the player I was without you, Coach Belichick. I am forever grateful, and I wish you the best of luck in whatever you choose next." So some classy words there from Tom Brady as well on Bill Belichick as he's on his way out from the Patriots.
And similar statements coming in from players that have played for
All
him
over the place.
previously, just talking about the life lessons they learn, not only when it comes to football, but just life in general.
And some social media, you see goat emojis all over the place.
Yep.
For something. It's just simply from these players. Obviously, a lot of respect there. It's an era ending here in New England today.
24 years, 9 conference championships, 6 Super Bowls under his belt. The end of an era ends today. We will have much more coming up tonight at 4 o'clock. We hope you will join us then.